The heavy silence of Lanford, Illinois, was broken only by the rhythmic ticking of the kitchen clock, a sound that seemed louder now that the world outside had ground to a halt. Inside the Connor household, the air was thick with the scent of pine cleaner and the lingering anxiety of a global pandemic. Dan Connor sat at the scarred wooden table, his large frame hunched over a cup of coffee that had long since gone cold. "Hold it right there," a young voice commanded with the gravity of a frontier lawman. Dan did not flinch. He slowly looked up to see his grandson, Mark, standing in the doorway with a plastic thermometer gun held like a loaded weapon. "Well, Sheriff," Dan drawled, a small smirk playing on his weary face. "I hear you are pretty fast with that there thermometer gun. But someday, somebody is going to come along that is going to be faster." Mark did not blink. "You say that every day, Grandpa, and I still do not know what it means. Do not move." He clicked the trigger, and a red laser danced across Dan's forehead. After a moment, the device let out a sharp beep. "Okay, it is normal. You passed the first test. Now, are you coughing, sneezing, or experiencing diarrhea?" "Exactly in that order." "No," Dan grunted, finally reaching for his mug. "Though the bank statement gave me a bit of a stomach turn this morning." Suddenly, Harris drifted into the kitchen, her eyes fixed on her phone. She moved toward the refrigerator with the grace of a ghost, nearly stepping on Dan's feet. "Move it or lose it, Harris," Dan warned. "You are standing right in my easy-to-reach a beer spot." "Sorry, last chair," Harris replied with a roll of her eyes. She leaned against the counter, sighing heavily. "Tell little psycho boy to stop making us sit 6 feet apart at the table. It is like eating in a high-security prison, only with worse food." Mark looked up from his clipboard. "You could sit on the beer if you want, Harris. It is technically outside the social distance zone." "Oh, Mom, you are 99 degrees. He thrust the thermometer toward Darlene as she entered the room. "Can you smell this?" Darlene batted away the half-eaten piece of toast Mark was waving. "I do not want to smell it, Mark. It is bad enough I have to eat it. Excuse me, does anyone want to socially distance their asses so I can come back in the room? If not, can I please have another serving of mashed potatoes? I am eating my feelings today." Becky slid a bowl toward her sister from across the table. "Thank you," Darlene muttered, but as she reached for it, a large glob of potato hit the linoleum floor. "Damn it. Do not worry. I will eat it," Becky said quickly, scooping it up. "Too good to go to waste. You know, the best part about this damn pandemic is having you in our bubble cooking for us, Darlene. That is the best thing. You know what I mean." Darlene stared at her sister with a mixture of pity and exhaustion. "Becky, take my spot. I cannot eat and watch you do that. I have standards, even in a global crisis." "Dibs," Harris shouted, sliding into the warm chair before Becky could move. The room grew quiet for a moment as the reality of their situation settled back in. Darlene looked at her father. "So, Dad, have you heard anything from the bank? I mean, they cannot take our house during the pandemic, can they? Is there some kind of moratorium on being a jerk?" Dan sighed, his fingers tracing the wood grain of the table. "They are so busy repossessing other houses, Darlene. Maybe they will just forget about us. We are the small fish in a very big, very bankrupt pond." "Yeah, they have their pick," Becky added sarcastically. "Hey, should we grab that 4-bedroom Cape Cod or Tobacco Road over there with the chicken coop out back? I hear the chickens are great neighbors. They do not ask for rent." A knock at the door interrupted them. Mark hurried to the window. "Is Mark here? I saw you ride up on your bike." Jackie burst into the kitchen, her eyes wild behind a plastic face shield. "Show me your test result here," she demanded, pointing at Mark. Mark pulled a crumpled slip of paper from his pocket. "See? Negative." Jackie squinted at the paper, then jumped back 3 feet. "That is last week's test." "Holy cow. I will just leave." "I am in," Mark shouted, trying to follow her. "You delivered food to dozens of people today? You have to go first. I eat disinfectant, and I crap sanitizer." Jackie roared, pointing a gloved finger at him. "Do your worst, or get out of my way, Junior. I am a frontline hero of falafels." She gestured to a pile of grocery bags on the counter. "What is that?" "Tony's Falafels closed down," Dan explained. "So he had an inventory sale in his parking lot. Hummus, olives, chickpeas, grape leaves. The works." Jackie peered into the bags. "Sounds like what animals eat to become food. Man, restaurants are dropping like flies." I am not letting anything happen to the lunchbox. I have bailed on too many careers in my life. I was a cop. I was a trucker. I got shot. I quit. I fell asleep at the wheel. I quit. And by the way, I fell asleep at the wheel as a cop, and I got shot as a trucker. She paused, looking at a local newspaper on the table. Oh my stars and garters. Wellman Plastics is reopening. They are hiring 200 people. Becky perked up. Is not that where you and Roseanne used to work, Jackie? Yep, Jackie said, her voice dropping into a nostalgic register. Look, it says they are making up for the plastic slowdown out of China. Haha. Game over, China. Wellman is back in the game. Darlene looked thoughtful. I remember visiting you guys at work when I was little, watching you robotically doing the same job over and over and thinking, wow, it must really suck to be an adult. And it does, Dan confirmed with a heavy nod. That is going to be a hell of a place to work, Ben noted, walking into the kitchen with a mask dangling from one ear. With people shoulder to shoulder on that assembly line, it is going to be way too easy to catch something. Jackie waved a hand dismissively. Yeah, I was always too easy. I caught something once from the supervisor, Booker, but it was worth it. He looked just like George Clooney. Dan smirked at her. So, are you care to make a friendly wager? Yeah, Jackie said, her competitive streak flaring. If I win, then you have to spend the night at my place. Dan laughed. I have got a 160 average, Jackie. There is no way you are going to beat me. All right, Jackie countered. What if you win? Then you spend the night at my place, Dan said, his eyes narrowing. Scrubbing my bathroom. Jackie winced. Oh man, I should have hit that until I broke it. Fine. The conversation turned back to the strange world outside. Wow, Dan sighed, shaking his head. The pandemic, the presidential election, and Halloween all happening at once. If you throw 5 dumb teenagers in a cabin, you have got yourself a horror movie. The voting booth at the library isn't even working, Becky mentioned. I will just go outside alone in the dark to fix it. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please, Jackie announced, trying to lift the mood. It is 2020, so get ready to trick or treat in style. COVID style. Harris stepped forward, draped in a torn medical outfit. I am a cursed nurse, she muttered. Is that because you are underpaid and stuck in a box? Darlene asked. No, she is a cursed nurse because her mother told her she could never be a doctor, Jackie explained dramatically. So she became a nurse, and then she killed her mother. Now she wanders the earth, punishing mothers who never thought their daughters could successfully run a restaurant. Darlene looked at Mark. And Marcus, a gumball machine? I did not know how to make that about my mom, Mark admitted. But it does promote gum, Darlene noted. That is perfect for all those kids with questionable diets that just need that little push to get across the diabetic finish line. Well, I love the costumes, Dan said. Unfortunately, the mayor just canceled trick or treating in Lanford this year. Oh yeah, Jackie grumbled. It is the same plan to ban drinking in the park. Why else would you go to a park? I am sorry, Dan said gently. We will double up on trick or treating next year. Mary, who had been listening quietly, looked down at her hands. I do not care about the virus. I really wanted to do Halloween. Now I do not have anything else to look forward to. She turned and walked out of the room. What happened there? Becky asked. The mayor canceled Halloween, Dan repeated. It is a big deal for her. You think Mary is okay? Darlene asked. Hard to tell, Dan said. I am used to my kids being upset and disappointed, but it is rough when you see it in a well-adjusted kid. Hey, I cannot blame her, Dan continued. When you are a kid, trick-or-treating is the best day of the year. We used to have so much fun looking all raggedy, going to the rich kids' neighborhood for pity candy. Remember that stuck-up family that put out that bowl that said, only 1 candy per person, please? Yeah, Becky laughed. I think I still have that bowl. You know what? We have a few minutes before work, Darlene said. I am going to go check in on Mary. Before Darlene could leave, Mark walked back in. Hey, Gumball, Darlene said. I forgot to ask you, how does it feel to be back in school? It is only a couple days a week, but it still sucks, Mark said. At soccer practice, we take turns kicking the ball. One kid kicks it, then they wipe it down, and then they give it to the next kid. How is everybody at school dealing with social distancing and the masks? Good while we are in class, Mark explained. But the minute we are outside, people get stupid. Yesterday I was walking home, and this kid I hang out with sometimes, Colin, was with some other kids, and he started hassling me. He told me to take off my mask. I said no, and he said, "What are you afraid of, Pelosi?" Smart kid, Darlene joked. He knows about the Senate. She is the Speaker of the House, Mark corrected. But yeah, then Colin said his dad said wearing a mask is just a way to scare people into staying home, and that could cost him his job. What did you say? Nothing, Mark said. I just kept walking. Okay, good for you, Darlene said. I guess. I wanted to say I am not afraid, Mark whispered. I am wearing the mask to keep other people from getting sick, including him. But Mom said that I should just ignore them. Okay, that is one way to go, Dan interjected. But you have a right to say what you want to. I mean, even if Colin does not get it, you may change somebody else's mind. Yeah, Mark said. I felt really weird not saying anything. I want to do that next time. Darlene looked around. Did Mary come back through here? No, why? She is not upstairs, Darlene said, starting to worry. I could not find her. All right, Dan said, standing up. We will spread out. She has got to be here somewhere. What? You cannot find Mary? Becky asked. DJ is going to be mad if we lose her. When you have only got one kid, you get super attached to him. But you have 3 kids, Harris pointed out to Dan. Weren't you attached to them? We had 1 favorite and 2 backups, Dan joked. You kids figure it out. Becky finally found Mary sitting on the roof, staring at the stars. Hey, Becky said, climbing out the window. How did you know where I was? Oh, I used to come up here all the time when I was mad, Becky said. What were you mad about? Mary asked. Living here, Becky admitted. But you are still living here, Mary noted. Yep, still mad. Becky sat down beside her. You are bummed about Halloween, right? Yeah. Oh, do not worry. Your dad will come up with something fun for you to do. No, he won't, Mary said flatly. He works all the time. I am alone a lot. I mean, I know he got promoted, but I did not think he was working that much. A lot of times he does not get home until 8. I have already made myself dinner by then. Becky felt a pang of guilt. Oh wow, so you are like alone all day? That is so hard. What do you do all day? Well, after online school I have my TV friends, Mary said. Oh yeah? Who is that? You know, friends. Rachel, Ross, Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and the dumb guy. Oh yeah, Becky said. I never watched that show. The title turned me off. Friends. That seems like a lot of pressure. I wish I was here more. There are always people around at the big house. But when I go back and forth, it is hard because I always forget my stuff. Yeah, Becky said softly. I know this isn't easy for you, and I really think we should talk more about this later. But right now I have got to get to work. Okay, so come on back inside. Can you stay up here with me for a few more minutes? Mary asked. Sure, Becky said, settling in. The next day at the factory, Darlene and Becky were working shoulder to shoulder. Oh man, Jackie sighed. Things never change. That right there is old lady Carlson hanging out her laundry. Wait a minute, Darlene said, squinting. That has got to be her daughter. I look great compared to her, right? Jackie asked. Well, you do not have the hump, Darlene noted. And I have got a personality that lights up a room. We have only been working here for 4 days, Becky warned. We are going to get in trouble. Put the phone down. No, Darlene said, dialing. DJ is going to want to know how upset Mary is. Voicemail is full. Who the hell wants to talk to DJ? Suddenly, a loud buzzer sounded. Oh, that is kind of fun, Jackie said. Unless something bad happened in cutting and forming, in which case it is terrifying. Or there is an immediate opening for one of us in cutting and forming. A man walked past with a bandaged hand. Pretty cheerful for a guy who just lost a hand, Jackie remarked. Oh, you know what? We definitely have to do a Halloween thing for Mary. Yeah, that will solve the problem now, Becky agreed. But sounds like DJ isn't around much. We just cannot leave her hanging around her house alone. You know what? I only see one option, Darlene said. Until Gina gets back, we have got to move her into the house. Wow, Becky said. I do not know if I can make that time commitment with Beverly Rose and all. Well, I mean, if we are both looking after her, I think it will be okay, Darlene argued. How about this? You be the hard-ass aunt, and I will be the fun aunt. Who says isn't the other aunt a killjoy? Becky asked. Let's hide a fish in our car. Sure, Darlene laughed. And since it is already an overcrowded flop house upstairs, she can live in the basement with her fun aunt. You mean like a living babysitter? I mean whatever you think is best for Mary. Between Ben and Jackie and Dad, somebody will be there during the day until we get home. Yeah, if we bring some of her stuff over from DJ's, I think she will be happier, Becky said. And we should leave a note. Hope your business trip was successful. We are taking your only child to live with us. Yeah, we will deal with that when we see him, Darlene said. Just trying to imagine how I would feel if someone wanted to take one of my kids to live someplace else. Do not say a word, Becky whispered. Just trying to savor it. Oh crap, Darlene said, looking at her phone. It is Mark's school. He got into a fight, and they are suspending him for 2 days. They sent him home. Oh man, Becky said. That is too bad. He was going to be the good one, right? It is nice to know someone else is having a worse day than you are. When they got home, Mark was sitting on the couch with a black eye. Here you go, Darlene said, handing him a bag of frozen peas. Oh my God, are you okay? I am fine, Mark grumbled. Well, who beat you up? Becky asked. Why do you assume somebody beat me up? Mark asked. And for your information, Colin is the one who ran away crying. Okay, great, you won, Darlene said. That doesn't make it any better. You are not supposed to be fighting. Sometimes you cannot help it, man, Dan said, walking in. I remember my school fighting days. Yeah, Jackie added. Back then, you girls used to carry razor blades in your beehives. I did not need to carry razor blades because I had truth and justice, Jackie laughed. Okay, so why were you fighting? Darlene asked Mark. Colin was being a jerk about me wearing a mask, Mark said. And Grandpa Dan said that I should have known better. No, Dan interrupted. Grandpa Dan said that you should talk to him and explain your point of view. Okay, that is a surprise. Never mind, Darlene said. I was telling Colin all about the science, and he wouldn't listen, and I called him an idiot, Mark explained. And he hit me, and I hit him back, and he was so surprised I had another chance to hit him. I told you, Darlene sighed. Do not waste your time talking to people like that. It only leads to violence. But Grandpa was right, Mark insisted. It felt good to talk back. Oh man, Darlene groaned. You see what Grandpa did was he set you up for a really bad situation. I am going to deal with that later. But put on your jacket. Why? I am taking you out to dinner. Is that my punishment? Mark asked. Taking me to a restaurant during COVID? No, we are trying to make Mary feel better, Darlene said. Casita Bonita turned their parking lot into outdoor dining, and they put this nice tarp up so you do not even notice the possum staring at you from the dumpsters. Hours later, they returned, shivering. Mama, Harris said. Who told you they were open? Louise said they were doing dinner, Becky said. I guess she got the date wrong. So why did we drive all the way to Chicago? Darlene asked. Because Chicago is known for its great restaurants, Dan said. We got a Costco hot dog and split a churro. Let it go, Darlene. Let it go. Darlene was now dressed as a princess. Why are you wearing a costume? Harris asked. And why are you dressed as Elsa from Frozen 1 and not Frozen 2? Because I bought it when Frozen 1 came out and I was broke during Frozen 2, Darlene explained. And because we are going trick-or-treating. Really? Mary asked, her face lighting up. We are going to die, Harris whispered. We are not going to go outside, Dan said. We are going to do it here. And behind each door of the house is either a trick or a treat, and you are going to have to knock on all of them to see. Thank you. This is so cool, Mary shouted. Where do we go first? Why don't you start with the front door? Dan suggested. Wait, but that door just leads outside, Mary said. Do not do it, Mary, Harris warned. It is a trick. They just want us to pick up the beer cans in the front yard. Try the front door, Dan insisted. Mary knocked, and Louise opened it with a handful of candy. That was so great, babe, Dan whispered. Stick it, Louise laughed. They moved to the kitchen. I heard some stuff on the door jam, Jackie sang. These are the doors 3. Is it a trick or treat that you shall see? Let's try the bathroom door, Mary decided. Are you sure? Jackie asked. Because once you open it, you cannot undo what you have unleashed. The door opened to reveal Ben. Oh, brownie. Good, Mary said, taking one. Take more, Ben said. No other kids coming. Eat slow, Frankenstein. Have to change costume again. Jackie shouted, running away. At the top of the stairs, Harris was waiting with her boyfriend. Oh, sorry, kids. I did not know you were up here, she said. This is my new boyfriend, Jack. Jacked up. A pun cannot change tenses, Harris, Darlene shouted from the hallway. It is Jack or it is jacked. That is not a legitimate play on words. What do you say about that, Jack or Jack? Harris asked. Okay, that was cool, Mary said. Oh, do not forget this door, Darlene said, pointing to the laundry room. It is a bathroom used by 6 people. I am a towel that hasn't been washed in years. Help me, and you please. One last door, Mary whispered. You do it, I am scared. Open your bags, Dan commanded. Enjoy. We ruined the neighbor's leaf blower for this. Suddenly, the wall was covered in shadows. Oh my God, Darlene said. The whole wall looks like it has ants all over it. It does, Dan said. Those are real damn ants again. They never give up, I tell you. Help me, giant air bendable some dust. Help me, help me. Happy Halloween. Dan watched as Harris operated a set of giant mandibles. And operating the giant ant mandibles like she has been doing it her whole life. My lovely assistant, Harris. I'm going to go out back and freak out the chickens now, Harris said. More Halloween. Mary cheered. Suddenly, DJ walked in the front door. Daddy, Mary shouted. Hey, sweetheart, DJ said. You are early. We have been trick-or-treating in the house. Sounds like fun, DJ said, looking tired. Why don't you guys head upstairs and count your candy? I will be right up. As soon as they were alone, DJ turned to his sisters. Thanks for sending me something like that in an email. You moved my daughter out of the house while I was out of town? Are you freaking kidding me? Hey Dave, check it out, Dan said, trying to intervene. I am Wolfman Buck. Where is your costume? I am a father whose kid is being taken from him, DJ snapped. Seems a little dark, but here is a bag for your candy. Go get the stuff you took from my house. I am taking Mary